how can you be a connector and a Maven? Being a connector and a Maven is going to give incredible success in your life. Hello, vanakkam, welcome back. My favorite author, Malcolm Gladwell. சூப்பராக சொல்லியிருக்காரு ஒரு புக்கில் அவுட்லயர்னு சொல்லி அந்த புக்கை. இஃப் யூ கெட் அ சான்ஸ் டு ரீட் திஸ் புக் கண்டிப்பாக நீங்கள் படிக்கணும். அமேசிங் இன்க்ரெடிபிள் டேக்அவேஸ். அதில் ஒரு வேர்டு அவர் யூஸ் பண்ணுவார் which is called as connector and a maven. ஒரு பர்டிகுலர் ஸ்டோரியை சொல்லிட்டு who are connectors and mavens அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு. But in this topic what we are going to talk about is how can you be a connector and a maven? Because being a connector and a maven is going to give incredible success in your life. இது it goes back to the fundamentals of networking. பெரும்பாலும் நான் ஒரு ஆஃபீஸ்க்குள்ள என்னோட ஆஃபீஸ்க்கு போறேன், நிறைய எம்ப்ளாயீஸ் இருக்காங்க அந்த பர்டிகுலர் ஆஃபீஸ்ல, and there are a lot of people who want to generally meet me or anything like that. ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்க்கு போறேன்னா generally people want to meet each other. That's what is the whole idea of a conference, and you want to learn from the conference as well. In that one conversation, whatever you are having, you will not be able to seal the deal. It's not a selling cycle. It's not something you are going to win the deal or swing the deal in that particular conversation. That conversation is a relationship builder conversation. That's an opportunity for you to understand what are the commonalities between the two of you, and you are warming up that relationship so that you can continue that conversation later and do whatever you want with that particular relationship. So, while you are networking, you should think about how can we talk about commonalities and how can we be more interested than interesting. Interested in that particular individual than we being interesting. Interesting na, I am trying to position everything what I have. I haven't heard about what is that individual story. What are their interest levels? So we generally try to become more interesting than being interested. So first and foremost, try to be interested than interesting. Second thing, don't try to sell in that particular deal. It is about arriving at commonalities. What are their interest levels, who they are, what they do, and then you're trying to figure out the commonalities. The next aspect is the most important aspect which I was talking about. நீங்க பேசிட்டு இருக்கீங்க, பக்கத்துல இன்னொருத்தர் அப்படியே நின்னுட்டு இருக்காரு. நீங்க you are able to watch them with your eye, yet you're not doing anything about it. And you must have experienced this. And this is where networking comes into play. What I would recommend is immediately you say to this particular individual, hang on 1 second, bring that next individual into that conversation. Hey, what's your name? How can I help you? And if you know that particular individual, you meet that individual, you say, hey, how are you? Hey, Balaji, I want you to meet Divya. Divya is an amazing individual who is doing XYZ. You are connecting two individuals. What you've done is you've created a networking effect. You have been able to create an opportunity for Balaji to connect with Divya, as a result of which you are creating possibilities for each other. You are not only creating possibilities between you and Balaji, you are creating possibilities for Divya and Balaji as well. A lot of people think, oh, why should I introduce this particular person? That is what is being altruistic. Open your network and be a connector. Connect individuals, as a result of which there could be opportunities which could arise, which could set them up for success. If you take the same concept of connector and a maven and think about LinkedIn. LinkedIn as a platform has this particular feature where you are able to see my connections. If you are connected with me on LinkedIn, you can see who my connections are, and you can say, Sid, can you introduce me to this connection? Actually, it is taken from a real world example of what we just spoke. எப்படி நீங்க ஒரு networking sessionல இருக்கிறப்ப you are talking to somebody, இன்னொருத்தர் நிக்கிறாருன்னா அவரை எப்படி நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்றீங்க இருக்குல்ல. In LinkedIn you have to ask, but in real world you can create that magical experience. So key takeaways, what I want you to think about is 1, being a connector and maven. The next time when you are standing and talking to somebody, you could be a student, you could be a teacher, you could be a parent, you could be an entrepreneur. When you are standing and talking to somebody, and that is when somebody comes in to speak to you, you just don't have a side conversation. You introduce these two people and be the connector. That is the number 1 takeaway. The second is being altruistic. In creating networks and creating opportunities for each other. All right. And the third and the most important thing is being interested than interesting. Above all, this particular technique, if you use, you will create magical experiences in people's lives. I hope this was helpful. If it has created value, I'd love for you to go and share your comments and thoughts, because your comments and thoughts is what helps us create more content. For the time what you've invested, I am forever grateful. See you on the other side.